Welcome to Split Specific, your channel for useful splitboarding knowledge. Today, we're talking about cutting our climbing skins. So let's get into it. I'm out on the couch right now to talk about cutting our climbing skins. We're not going to hang out here long. I just want to go over a few things. And then we're going to go over to the KMAC office where Dustin and I went and cut the skins for our rental fleet this season. The skins we chose were contour skins, which have a little bit more of an involved trimming process. So we kind of got a bit more of a technical demonstration in there. And then I also cut these G3 skins for one of my boards, and these are definitely much easier. So there's going to be a video for that as well. One thing to note about this video is that the videos from the office where we were cutting the skins, those were kept pretty basic. Most manufacturers make videos about how to cut your skins, and I really highly recommend that you look at those videos. That being said, sometimes they're kind of hard to understand, and so I just wanted to give some pointers that we've learned over the years to help you do a little bit better job cutting your skins for the first try. One thing we kind of touch on when we're in the office, but we didn't touch on a ton that I'd like to go over, is just the placement of our skins on the split board. All right, so the number one thing with this is that the skin fits inside of the metal edges. So our metal edges should be exposed. What that does is it gives us edge control for icy traverses, all right? If our skin hangs over that metal edge, then we get less edge control and we slip a lot more, especially on split boards. But split boards have a straight inside edge. So most skins, when they're purchased from the store, are cut in a straight line, and that straight line is going to be straighter than anything you or I can cut. So anytime I cut my skins, I try and make sure that I never have to cut my inside edge. So with this G3 skin, when I put this on, it's actually manufactured so that you don't have to cut that at all. I lined up my tip connector, pulled it down so that the skin was inside of the edge here. There's just a little bit of base exposed in some spots, but for the most part, it's just that metal edge. I lined that up, set my tail tension so it's just a little bit tight, and then I cut that other side. The more complicated skins to cut, this process becomes a little bit more ambiguous, and we try and cover that in there. But just know that if you can, try and just make one cut with your skins. With that, we will go into the KMAC office to learn a little bit more about cutting our climbing skins.
Hey, this is Dustin with KMAC Guides and my friend Cinder here. And we're gonna be setting up today some of our rental fleet's skins. So we'll show you some tips and tricks and a few different brands that we got this year, and just some kind of general pointers that we've found over many years of setting up lots of skins over and over again. So yeah, first we're gonna run you through this contour skin on this beautiful Weston Eclipse 145 split board. And then we'll show you a couple other things after that. First step, I'm gonna pull off the backing off here. There's just this plastic stuff. Okay. And then next we're gonna just set this on here, just like we're gonna put on the skin. Now one of the differences we're gonna do is we are going to offset this by 4 millimeters. What does that look like? About like that. So maybe double the width of that steel edge in there is a good eyeball. So something like that. And then we're just gonna go all the way down. And I like to use one hand, hold it on here, that way you can pull it back set it and I know it's good to here, so I'll put my hand here and I can pull it back and mess with this stuff without losing what I've already captured there, and just kind of work my way down. There we go. All right, now with putting on skins, it's definitely worth taking your time because you can only cut once. You can always cut more, but you can't take any away. So really making sure this is on really good. I don't have any bubbles in here. I can feel all the way down it. Make sure it's really on there well. And then next thing I'm gonna do before I get to that second one is we're gonna trim the edges. So with the contour skins and many others on the market, you're just gonna get a little razor blade with a slot in there, just like this. And how I like to do that, set it down here, and I'll kind of, you can get this on here, give a good firm pressure, and I want to get into a place where I can I can reach the entire length here so that I don't have to stop halfway. I want to do the entire cut in one motion. If you stop, sometimes it ends up with like burrs and things like that on it and different shapes to the cut. We want a really smooth one. It'll just make them work better later on. So we're just going to go down and in one motion all the way down. There we go. Okay, I'll finish this off. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to measure the tail clip on here. All right, we're going to set this tail clip in where it kind of feels like it can't move around. It's really locked in there. This board, we can use this little hook cutout thing, but if it didn't have that, it wouldn't really matter. And then I'm going to hold that there and mark the line. There we go. I'm just going to very carefully cut that line now. Next, we're going to take this tail clip pad, I like to give it a little crease, fold it in half. And what this is going to end up doing is holding this clip on there, like so, and it's going to end up holding it on there like that. So we are going to tie it in there. So how we do that is take this pad, and it has, you can see, there's a big fat line, then you got little hatch marks here. Line that up and that up here. And we're going to line off the little hatch marks, make them in line with the cut I made. And then I want to mark these 3 holes. There we go. Then I'm going to use my center punch tool that comes with the kit, and I am going to punch those holes out. Hammer of some sort helps. This is the one we have on hand. So we're just going to go down and hammer on a surface that can take a hammer and punch those holes out. Phone book or something like that can work well. Make sure you don't hammer on your snowboard, you'll break it. Something like that. When you do this, the goal we're going for here is all the way through, and I'll almost get a little work in there just to make sure you really got it in there good. And next, carefully getting the spot, we're hammering. Okay. And now we're going to connect this tail clip on there. So I like to start, we'll do these rivets with the kind of open-ended one as opposed to the straight shaft. We'll push it through set up all three. And we push it through the plush here. It should line up all perfect. And when all three are in there, here we go. We take our bar, make sure you wrap it the correct way so it's not going away from the board, it's wrapping around towards the board. Slide it on there, and then we're gonna fold these over and take the male end of the rivet and just fingertip pressure should hold it in there for now. All right, so now all three of those are in really loosely. And then we're gonna go back down to the floor down here by Cinder the dog. And like just on some sort of durable surface, we're just gonna tap these rivets down. If you've never hammered a rivet, really the trick is you have to hammer straight. If you hammer crosswise on it, you can bend them and you have to pull them apart and it's a pain. If you just hammer really gently, and I like to start gently and increase, but I'll get all three kind of gently tapped in there. And then I'll go a little harder, really make sure they are locked in there. Okay. And that concludes setting up the skin. What we can do next is get it on there. It's kind of offset right now, right? So we can put it back on just to double check that we did that right. And so kind of as a last step, we can pull this all the way off and go ahead and set it up correctly. And with these contour skins, you actually start backwards. So you flip it over and start on the tail. So we got the tail set up. And then we're just gonna go ahead and set our skins on there just like we're going skiing. So just a little gap of the base showing and all of the silver showing is how we like to set up skins. All right, and then on these contour skins, you actually pull off the Velcro there, flip it over that, and lock it on like that. And we can see we did a good job. I can see the base all the way down. There's no bubbles. And the nice thing with these, there's no way that's coming off if we go shredding on this thing. So we are all set to go. Now we're just gonna rinse and repeat on the other ski.
Dusty just showed us one of our rental fleet boards using the contour skins. So I'm going to go through cutting a different set of skins right now. This here's my Backwoods Carbon light board, so I picked up some light G3 skins for it. The cutting process is a little simpler with these, so we're just going to kind of go through that so you can see the differences there. So just like those contour skins, we have a protective film on here. We're going to want to peel that off to expose our glue. This glue's sticky. So for the less tech savvy of us, a skin like this kind of has everything already attached to it and ready to go. All we need to do is cut one side. So I have my tip up here. We've got the flat edge, which is going to go against the straight edge of my split board, and then the curved edge here. So I'll get that lined up. And then with this one, instead of leaving a gap against my metal edge here, I'm just going to line it up just on the inside of that metal edge. So depending on how anal you are about this could go really quickly or take a few tries, and I know that I'm pretty anal about these things, so this might take a few tries. But I kind of like to pull from afar and lay it out. Kind of line it up along the way. Smooth out all the bubbles on this guy. And then just really make sure I'm getting good contact with my skin here. That's all sitting flat. All right, next thing I'm going to do is adjust this tail and get this set up while I'm here. So there's just a little leash that runs through here, and I'm going to get the notch set up where I want it. So over there. So with skins that have these adjustable tails, setting the tension on these, I want just enough tension to kind of keep the skin on. I'm not trying to really yard down on this, make it super tight. That's how we end up breaking the ends of these things. So you just want to set it so there's a little bit of tension to help keep that tight. So that feels pretty good right there. All right, so now this skin is on. We can see here, it's hanging off on this side. So on those contour skins, we gave ourselves 4 millimeters on the inside of the edge. And that allowed us, after cutting the skin edge, to move the skin back over and expose both edges. With a skin like this, it comes with a special cutter tool that already accounts for the width of the edge there. So once I run this tool down the edge of this, the edge will be exposed afterwards. So I take my tool, and then there's these little fins here that are going to slide underneath the skin. And then I'm just going to try and get those set up. I like to start above where I'm going to start cutting to get everything set. And then I'm going to push hard against my edge and just pull, and you can see that's starting to cut the skin there. And then, like Dustin was saying, I like to go with one smooth motion, so I kind of like to reach out and then just pull. And that's it. My skin's ready to go out and ski now. So, all right, hopefully that video helped you out a little bit. Remember, measure twice, cut once, and try to not ruin your new $150 skins. Next up in our series about skins is going to be a video all about skin care. And we're not talking about this skin here. We are talking about our climbing skins, how to maintain the life of them out in the field, and then how to maintain them while they're in storage here at home. So make sure you subscribe so you see that video when it comes out.